if you only have 1K left to fill out your portfolio, is Terra going to be one of those coins to help you dominate and just finally take off that last piece of the puzzle? Well, before we get into that, quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you need financial advice, always seek out a qualified professional when required. Now, back onto the coin. Looking at the monthly, what we can see here is we've got a failed swing high, as I reported in my previous video. And from that, we can tell that, yeah, that's a hint that the market is looking to go down. So I still feel there's definitely a discount to be made before we, really add it to that portfolio or load the boat, as they say. But we'll show you where those potential zones are on the chart shortly in this video. But before we move on to that, just going to zoom into this daily to see a sneak peek of what really happened with that failed swing high. This was that candle that took us up on that kind of weekly and monthly sprout. And then we came right back down here, closing below it. So that kind of gives us that weekly and monthly wick. So right here is that kind of indication. And this becomes our new little, or large rather, sell zone. And then from this sell zone, price just kind of came back in and kissed it ever so slightly. Right here, we see prices come in and then dip down. So this is your kind of indication that, yeah, this is probably a level to take profits. Once you break down, you're breaking this potential, not potential trend, you're breaking this trend right here. As we just mark that out on the chart, you can see these lows right there nicely getting higher, and then this candle just breaks all of those lows. But we also break this fractal, which was at the time the daily market structure. And once that market structure was broken, price is hitting there, it wants to go down, coupled with the fact that we've got this zone here from that monthly failed swing zone. It all adds up, and then we can just see price just coming back down. And for the sellers, they're probably looking, at some targets further down below this daily level. I'm just going to draw that out to see what that looks like. So here we've got a little bit of a 1-to-1 ratio already. Let me move that properly. There we go. So just over a 1-to-1 ratio already. Your stops will be here. And then they're probably looking at the next, support level, which would be the resistance for them, which is most likely down in this area. Though I do feel, we've still got a few things to contend with price that we need to take a look at before it can get to that area. First one being that the daily market structure is actually bullish. So we've come down here, but we have broken this fractal. So this was that previous level. And then these two candles took us up into a new range, which is this section here previously had. So you can see we've got a fractal high, and then the most recent fractal low is just down there. So this is that bullish range. Even though we've got a bearish big move moving down, we haven't got that trend yet. That bearish trend, will only come once price breaks and closes below this level. So I do expect that to happen at some point, but for now we're in this range. So if we hold above this and we get some failed closes, then it's probably gonna keep price at this level. Otherwise, yeah, I expect price to close below this swing low here, creating a new, and then head into that nice little weekly efficiency zone, which I'll demonstrate for you what that looks like on the weekly in a second. What we can see is price has given us, some nice long-term trends in terms of what's been going on over the last couple of months or years. Sorry, we've got these swing lows, they're just getting higher and higher, and nothing yet to be broken. Even though we've broken this fractal here, this fractal low right there on this candle, we then also break above high as we create that new, 120 all-time high. And that gives us that nice bullish market structure. And we've got this, bullish trend on top of that. And then here's our weekly demand zone, where I do expect price to come back down to these levels. Also, we've got this weekly efficiency. So these price gaps here following this candle, nothing has come back to kind of clip that money yet. Similar to something it's done in the past. Of course, past price doesn't always predict, what's going to happen in the future. But what we can see here is if we zoom in on this candle, right here, we can see the top of it here. The price did not get filled on the preceding candles. So when you're looking for price gaps, it's not the next candle to the right, it's always the candle following that. So we missed this one, and we look here and we say, has anything touched this candle? This one hasn't, this one hasn't, none of these did until this candle. So right here, that gap was filled, and I'll just draw in a line just so you can see that clearly. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's going to hit and go off. It's just come in and filled that gap. Price action doesn't predict the future, but at the same time, we are in a trend. We've got these three ducks lining up, the bullish market structure, the bullish trend and our demand zone. So we expect price to come back to this area here, and this could possibly be our zone. So I'm just gonna move down to the 4 hour just so you can see what's happening there. And on that 4 hour, you know, just for shits and giggles, I guess, we've got, you know, a nice downtrend coming up, which I don't think has been broken. Let me just mark out that downtrend. So highs getting lower, and this would be that level that we're looking to see broken right up here. So we came close to it, failed to close above it. So that failed swing high. That's another indication, as I said, on any time frame that we're going to go lower. You know, coupled with some stuff on a lower time frame, when you zoom in and see what's happening, you would probably see a 15-minute interval where price was breaking its upward trend. And then that's what happened right here. We came right back down, but now we're doing the same on the bottom side. So right here on the bottom level, we've got this potential failed swing low, got an hour and a half left before this candle closes. So if this candle does close above this level, we could possibly expect price to, to move up this range a bit or move sideways. But this is a, indication that the buyers are taking control in this time frame. So don't confuse this with what's happening on a higher time frame. It's all relative to its own. So there's another fractal right there. Failed to close below 2. Let's see if this can handle that pressure. And we'll just quickly look at the 15-minute chart to mark out those zones that are relative to the 4-hour failed swing low. Right here, I believe. Let me just zoom in to that. Yeah, so this is at fractal level. I don't think, no, actually right here instead. So a little bit lower, which gives us a better risk to reward ratio. And for this zone to become valid, we need to see price break up and close outside of this zone, outside of this box. That's a strong indication that now this zone becomes our demand zone, and we expect price to do this kind of pattern here. Once you break out, come back in, and then so on and so forth. That's the kind of move that you can expect. Doesn't always work out that way, mainly because it's a 4-hour, a 4-hour failed swing low. So if I zoom back up, get rid of that. These 4-hour ones are not going to be as powerful as a daily and a weekly, but at the same time, for a short-term intraday trade, I will say, those are your potential targets right there. If you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bless.